is the studio helping or hurting itself in terms of value of their pieces by putting desirable pieces in the hands of great people where they will not move?
I'll ask you this question.
I mean, I like the turnaround here, man. You just like, I'm not in the hot seat. You're in the hot seat, Kurt.
You're in the hot seat. You can load it up. You can load it up.
Comes right down the middle, man. Banx account. How you doing, my friend?
Good, Kurt. How are you, brother?
Awesome, man. Welcome to CAA. Appreciate you carving out the time, man. It's been a minute since we chatted about this.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to, get through this and, get through, we'll call it the Kurt Q&A, because I've watched almost all of yours, and, it's always nice to see people's intake and their answers. So I'm excited to be on the other side of it.
The hot seat, man. You're on the hot seat. People fear this moment. You know that?
Oh, no. I don't know why
they fear. Now, before we get started, though, and we're going to talk about your collection in a minute, but I'm not going to ignore the fact what is over your left shoulder. Can we just acknowledge it for a moment before I don't even care what your name is or where you're from. Let's just look. I mean, what have you done here? Is this how you normally have it set up, or did you set it up for this call?
It was set up for this call. And reason being is I used to collect a lot of shoes, and we have what is called a shoeporium. And that shoeporium it became storage, over the last year. And so it's in a spot right now where it needs to be, it's under renovation. So these are displayed in other ways around the house, on my desk. But because of the call today, I'm like, you know what, let's set it up really nice, and let's make it set up
really nice. Let's put 3 Jumpmandos front and center, just over my shoulder, and see if Kurt notices. All right. So who are you? Where are you from? Talk to us.
Yeah, I'm Nav, from north of the American and Canadian border. I'm from Toronto, Ontario. Been collecting piggies for just over a year now. And yeah, I'm Banx account.
Queen's Park, have any meaning to you? Toronto?
I know where it is. I've been there. Yeah, I have been.
So there's a castle in Toronto. I can't think of the name of it. Do you know that castle? Yeah. Okay, so I took my wife up to Toronto with the plan of proposing to her. Okay. Toronto's beautiful, by the way. Yeah. Like, I flipping love Toronto. So we go up there. It's my first time there with her, and I'm going to propose to her at the castle. Now, again, I'm just doing research on the internet. I don't know where the best places to go. I'm sure there's more romantic spots. Not that I'm a super romantic guy, but I'm like, the castle, right? Let's do that. So we're at breakfast that morning, man, and the man and woman are sitting there. They're a little elderly, and they're like, we went to the castle yesterday. And I was like, how was it? And they're like, not that great. And the wife was like, I don't want to go. So I've got this engagement ring in my pocket, and I'm like, oh, you don't want to go? She's like, no. And so we're like roaming around downtown Toronto, and I'm trying to find a spot. I'm like looking down alleys, and eventually we make our way to Queen's Park and just find a bench, and there we go, man. So Toronto is where it's at.
Hey, congratulations.
Thanks, man.
You proposed in Toronto. That's awesome.
That's right. So now every time you go to Queen's Park, you can memorialize the moment I got down on a knee and proposed to my wife.
You timed it perfectly, because downtown Toronto is not what it used to be.
Yeah, it's amazing. And the Blue Jays are crushing right now, aren't they?
Hey, I mean, they lost the first 2, but they had a phenomenal game last night. So we'll see where tonight takes them. But they're in the hot seat. They're in the hot seat right now.
They are in the hot seat. That's true. So what's your background in the art space? You said you started off in shoes. Did you ever dabble in sports cards? How did you get going?
Yeah, I did do sports cards. It was kind of like, I did Pokemon cards growing up. Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Going to the movies, getting the promo card, getting packs on my birthday, Christmas, that sort of thing. Kind of disappeared. And then, throughout life, going to the flea market with friends and my parents, getting or packing, just whatever the packs you'd get your hands on, and but nothing seriously up until COVID, I'd say. And then I think COVID brought a lot of people into sports cards. And, I did that I still have sports cards, but most of my time is now spent in, the art space, and it's primarily piggies.
What's your sport of choice?
To play, to collect.
Let's go both. Play first.
To play hockey.
Canadian. Come on, man. Why am I even asking that question? Fine. Yeah, okay. Hockey.
And then collecting, I would say NFL, because I watch football a lot more than I do watch hockey. And when I say that is, I watch the Leafs play whenever I can, but I will watch more about NFL, like amongst different teams, whether it's Thursday night or Sunday. So I have a better grasp to know what's happening. So collecting as well for sports, I think football, because you have a better grasp on what's happening.
Who's your NFL team of choice?
The Chiefs.
Interesting.
I know, not Buffalo. And
I mean, I didn't see it coming, man. Come on, right across Niagara Falls. You can throw a rock and hit it.
I got to watch. Well, didn't get there. I was watching Mahomes early on in his career when he had joined the Chiefs, and kind of the excitement, the leadership he brought forth at such a young age was kind of like it brought me to watching him, and from there I kind of I stuck through with it, and through the ups and downs, and mostly ups. It's nice to have a team that wins, because as a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, as a Blue Jays fan, we don't see much winning over here. So
not a lot of winning. Did you notice PiggyBanx dropped a sports piece yesterday?
PiggyBanx dropped a sports piece yesterday.
Yeah, did you notice that by any chance? King of the City 3?
Oh, the King of the City. Yeah, Jerry Rice. Yes. That was yesterday. Crazy. I'm still
Not yesterday, man.
Yeah, the Jerry Rice piece. That's crazy.
Yeah, going through the Rolodex, you're like, yesterday? What was...
Well, today's drop, which was the laughter, right? So
yeah, Laughing Matter, right?
Laughing Matter, yeah. So that one's got my attention too. And
Laughing Matter's sick, man, but back to yesterday, whole day away. Like, who's dropping these back to back? You can't even give us a day in between? But what do we think of Jerry Rice, man? You going for it?
I have not gone for the King of the City. I think King of the City is a phenomenal set. I know the danger I bring myself by going for it. And that's where I had to make a decision, which is like, okay, PiggyBanx is dropping bangers over bangers. Yes, and I got to figure out how I approach my collection going forward. And listen, in the future, if I come across King of the City 1, 2, and 3 in a trade deal that makes sense to me, who knows?
Who knows?
I also know that, there's going to be a 4, a 5, a 6, and with that being said, I'm assuming there's a 4, 5, and 6. But
there's got to be at least a 4 and a 5, right?
At that point, it's dangerous for me to be like, I gotta make space, and if I'm making space for that, what do I have to give up?
The problem with PiggyBanx is we have a general direction where we're going in this conversation, but I have more questions about what we've already talked about. This is what I hate. This is why it's a true hot seat. Are you gonna go for Laughing Matter?
No.
Is it because this is my annoyance? And whenever I say annoyance, I'm kidding. I'm not actually annoyed. You've got Viscosity, Knight's piece, and then right on the tail, it's like, come on, now you drop Laughing Matter, which appears to be part of a set-ish thing-ish. Well, I didn't ask for a nomination for Viscosity, because 1, I don't really ask for nominations unless it's sports pieces. And 2, who knew? Who knew you were dropping this piece 28 hours later?
Yep, and so, you know what, let me rewind. As of right now, I don't plan to go for it because I think I've been blessed in other ways with hits. And that's one part. The other part of it is I like to take things in sometimes and truly, depict or dissect the work. And Viscosity, of course, to your point, that was a week, 2 weeks ago. People are just getting them in today, and now it's like, hey, you think you like that work? Wait for this one. And of course, I know for a fact if it's been bangers over bangers, I can guarantee you the next one is going to be another banger. And so I think they did something similar with the Umbretron and the Espetron, right? Yeah. One was a Knight's piece, and the next one was an open to everyone release. So it's kind of like, hey, you got to be really careful with how you collect, because I think always collect what you love. But for me, it's like, if I have the option and I can kind of say, hey, if this is dangerous for me, I know if I get this, I know what I'm going to have to do to get the next one. It kind of puts me in a spot where I'm cornered. And there's nothing better than getting that piece that really hits that PC. But sometimes the chase can just be so draining.
It's almost like PiggyBanx is worried that the Knights don't have enough friends. It's like they're forcing people to contact Knights to get these. It's like all the Knights are good people. They have a great number of friends, and you're forcing people to go contact.
I'm curious to see how many Knights, and when Knights pieces are released, or like the video, the teaser is released, how many of them turn their notifications on mute? Because I can only imagine when I see it and I see that there's already 40 comments, and I'm like, good luck, Knights, because like not everyone wanting a nom is even asking or not even commenting. So it's like, kudos to the Knights. It's I'm sure they're blessed in many, many ways, but one of the ways is, having to get spammed. So sometimes, but hey, I think it's a good thing too. It helps build the community. I think it engages them into getting to know new collectors, old collectors, and I think it's only helped the overall engagement of the community.
I'm going to have to be strategic too. I cannot go for Laughing Matter even though I want to. I think I'm going to chase it on secondary.
Exactly, right?
And I'm not going to tell my wife.
As I say this, my fiance is walking back and forth. So I think that's very fair. And I think that's kind of one of those things that you got to ask yourself, which is, hey, there's a shot that down the road, viscosity might pop up. And if it's a set that you really like, you're like, you know what? Maybe if I can get my hands on that one first, then I can go for Laughing Matter second. And maybe
are you a it has to be a set or bust type of guy? Like, could you ever own Laughing Matter without owning Viscosity?
I think I could, but it would drain me, right? Like mentally, because it's like an OCD.
I see the pain already.
It needs to be part of a set. So like I have Fit Check 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, yeah.
I got number 2 first. 2 was actually like one of the first pieces I ever got from the studio, retail. And it was a gold short right now. I'm sure we'll jump into these later, but it was this bad boy right here, a gold Batman Fit Check. And as soon as I got it, I was like, holy. And then I went back, I found Fit Check 01, I started scouring who had it, and it just happened to be a guy that was maybe a 50-minute drive from me. And again, there's not many Canadian collectors. So it was kind of like, this has to happen. What's your price? Let's get it done. And then I got 1 and 2. And then when the third one came out, that was like, oh my gosh, I have to have it, right? For many reasons. I love the pop culture aspect of it, right? But it was just like, this needs to belong in my collection. I think I would feel the need to want the full set, but I would be okay and understanding if I don't have it. It's like the same thing with the crowns. I am a crown collector, but I know for a fact there's a shot I will never own a stand. And with that being said, it's reality. So that's okay.
Do you have a Kobe?
I do not have a Kobe and I do not have a LeBron. So, I've had the opportunity to go for Kobe, in regards to like in trade and cash, but it's a lot to cough up, especially when, there's so many things on the chase. And, I think what's meant to be is meant to be. I will find my way to owning one day, but today's not the day. So that's
Do you want to trade your house for a Kobe crown or not? You gotta cross that bridge.
Exactly. The 4 mortgage payments or,
So what was the first piece that you ever collected? So you're messing with sports cards, you're messing with shoes, and then you're like, I'm going Piggy. Why? Yeah. How?
Funny enough, there's a guy, DJ, Daniel, Canadian. He and I are both Mahomes fans. And so, going to card shows, we both would see our collections of Mahomes, kind of just chit-chatting, potentially doing trades. And I followed his Instagram and I started seeing all his PiggyBanx pieces. And I was like, yo, what are these? And that's kind of what I was telling you about. Like, it's been 1 year, but I was kind of looking at them a little bit before that. And it was because of him. And, my first piece was Cap Gun, the Disney Pinocchio. And that was all because that was the first piece I was actually blessed by the studio with. They knew that I was missing. I was commenting. I was super eager. And, I have a passion for Disney and it just worked out. Funny enough, side note, I was going to keep that piece as a forever piece because it was my first. But recently, a collector was chasing my exact variant to get a mini set. And so about a week ago, I let it go as a hey, it's been 1 year. You know what? Part of growing and our collections is the relationships. And, some pieces are meant to stay forever and some are meant to be in a home that's going to cherish it more. So that was a side note. But yeah, 1 year, DJ helped me get into it, Cap Gun. And since then, it's everything you see behind and a few more. So
just a couple more, I'm sure. Just like one. You left one out, right? Because it couldn't fit.
Yeah, a handful.
That's what everyone's thinking, right? Like, he probably just couldn't fit the extra 2 or 3, and those are off camera. Not like 20, 50 more.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So is it, now coming from sports cards and shoes, you got to ask the question. I don't ask some people this question, but I'm going to ask you. Is it a passion, or is it an investment, or is it both for you?
I would say both, like transparently, with shoes as well. I got big into streetwear and culture probably in 2012 or so. Air Jordan 1s, they were the hype, and it kind of like, hey, I would love to own a pair, but I couldn't justify paying, the $400 or $500 out of pocket. But what I could justify doing was buying 2 or 3 if I got my hands on them, selling 2 to afford my own. And that kind of grew as a collection. I was big into the Off-White collection. I I actually had all 10 of the original Off-White Nikes. I had some of the Prestos that were actually signed by Virgil Abloh. I had 2 pairs of those before he passed. And so, that was all passion. I loved wearing them. I loved owning them. I loved collecting and displaying them, right? But when a house came calling, some decisions had to be made. And, that was one of them, which was to sell off, those Grail sneakers. Same thing with cards. I've had to sell off some PC of my sports cards because, there were some bills that just had to be paid. So some decisions need to be made, and it's life hits us sometimes, and you got to do what you got to do. I think with Piggy, I collect what I like, and sometimes that doesn't mean I will let go of a piece. I understand that there are going to be homes that will cherish them more. I think part of the community is passing on that piece to someone who will enjoy it a lot more, forever home. But that doesn't mean I would throw $10,000 at a piece and be okay and not see it, if it went to 0 tomorrow, it would hurt.
For sure.
I don't think anyone would want to do that, right? But I believe in it, which is why I do it. So I would answer that transparently. It's both.
Is there a piece that comes to mind where you never thought an investment that you said, I don't care if this piece goes to 0. I want it anyway. Do you own one of those?
I would own a few of those, but I think it was also because they probably came in trade, or they came in a way which was like, hey, I'm not necessarily into this for value today. So, but again, I think it's like a hard answer to have, because we know what our pieces are sometimes worth today. Actually, I don't think anyone knows what they're exactly worth. And but again, it would hurt to say if everything went to 0, it would hurt. But at least I know I have in my collection what I like.
At least you could sell your Jump Mandos back for $750, right?
Exactly, right? Exactly.
So you could always get that. And if you got 3 of them?
Yeah, I think the price at that point was a little cheaper.
Yeah, $22.50 for the 3.
No, I think man, I think there's definitely a few pieces that I wouldn't care about going to 0, right? One example would be, funny enough, it'd be the What If dinner piece. So I have the What If dinner piece. It's CodeBanx. It is the alpha, funny enough. I'm sure it's worth pretty decent chunk of change today. But if it went to 0 today, it wouldn't matter to me, because I know the experience that came out of it. I truly appreciate that piece, because on the TVs, it has some of my favorite pieces on it. So there's pieces like that it doesn't come to mind. If this goes in value, if this drops 50% tomorrow, it doesn't hurt. I don't mind it, right? And of course, there's other ones where I've spent a lot of money, which I'd still be happy to own the piece, but it would definitely sting. No one likes to look at, a stock portfolio and see that it's down 50%.
Now, the dinner, did you open the alpha, or did you trade it?
No, I opened it. It was an experience for sure, because, we get there, and it was me with my fiance. So we were both actually in California we planned it so we were going to go to California for an engagement shoot. Somehow it just happened to be on the weekend of the Piggy dinner.
You and Sam, bro. Like, come on, man. You both with your Trojan horses out here.
Exactly. So I told her it was going to be great food. She was fully down for it. She's on board with PiggyBanx. She understands what it's about. She has a few pieces herself that she enjoys. She's happy with, but we got there, so we got ours. I told her to open up hers first, and so she was really happy and excited with hers. She loved the briefcase. The first thing she tells me, she's like, "I want to get the case signed by Brad and Cody." And I'm like, "Yeah, of course. Like, we should do it. CodeBanx and Brad are around the corner. We'll go do that." And she goes, "Okay, but open yours first." And I was like, "I don't know if I want to open it right now. Like, I kind of want to wait. Like, I kind of want to build the suspense." And we gathered a couple of people around us and kind of open it, and I remember seeing like that. I don't want to call it like a glimmer, but like, how you like PMGs have that like.
No, I don't know actually.
Hey, baby diamonds, right? Like, how your baby diamond had a bit of a glimmer to it.
Yeah, it did.
Right, and it's dark at detention. Like, not every spot has the brightest of lights, but if you see a bit of gold and glimmer, you can get an idea that, hey, this could be baby diamonds, or this could be this could be a bad boy PMG. And that's exactly what it was. Kind of just slow rolled it, and it was like, holy, and I was just speechless. And my buddy smacks me, and he's like, yo, and I'm like, I'm still in shock. And my fiance's like, what variant is that?
Right,
and I was like, this is the alpha. So It was definitely a cool piece, and shortly after, I took a selfie with the piece and CodeBanx to just kind of like, it's him. I got the alpha with the so it was just a cool piece and cool moment.
So it's so funny because I always do the openings with my daughters, and they went to bed because it was a late night that night. And I think we had opened something else, and I had the PiggyBanx there for the Collector Heart 02. It's just sitting on the table, and we had not opened it together yet. And I was like, I've never slid this box up myself. The girls have always done it. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And so to your point, that's the only experience I had of sliding it up. And I just saw the orange stripe. So I knew it was the golf variation. Yep. And I was like, ooh. And then I saw something, and I didn't know it was baby diamonds at the time. And I was like, and then I went and put my girl to bed, and I came back out.
Yeah.
Because I was already hyped it was golf. I was like, I don't care what it is. It's golf.
Good. Yep.
Good. But I've also only hit canvas and matte from the studio. So I knew that this one had shine on it, right? Normally I just see this pale. Different, man. I can't imagine the alpha and of a piece that has so much meaning like that.
Yeah, man. And like, again, I don't know if you've seen it close up, but on the TVs, you can see other pieces. And I don't know. I'm assuming it's what would be his favorite, because they did 3, right? They had Brad, they had the pig, and they had Cody, right? So I'm assuming it's maybe pieces that meant a lot to him. I think everything the studio does, there's intention behind it. And so like, I would feel weird to say that there was no intention on the pieces they put in those TVs. Here, let me bring it out. So you got, I don't know if you can even see it, but you have Boba's bars at the top. You have It Was All a Dream, the MJ crown, Mutant Machinima, Separation Anxiety. You got the Lewis Legendary Formula. Love Struck is one of my favorite pieces. So like there are some pieces on here that they're my go-tos. So that's I'm super happy with it. Super
dream piece, man. And to your point, I mean, you pay the price of admission, but you're paying for the experience. It's almost like you can consider the piece for free when you're talking, like you said, if it goes to 0, who cares? Like,
again, man, like we were there and it was like, we were so excited for this because we booked it like 2.5 months in advance. So as soon as the messages came out for dinner, we already knew we were going to go. We bought the tickets that first like minute that they came out, sort of thing, hotels, everything. And about a week before, or like 10 days before we're about to fly out, the airline that we were going to fly with is on strike. And they were the only company that would have been direct. And so now here we are trying to scramble and figure out, will they be back in time? How do we figure this out? And so I'm calling Air Canada every hour of every day, trying to get a hold of someone, but so are thousands of Canadians stranded, because it wasn't just people stuck in Canada. It was people stuck around the world that couldn't get back home, right?
Sure.
And so it turns out we were one of the first flights that we ended up working it out. We ended up booking a secondary flight just in case as a backup. It cost us a lot, but we had like an insurance on it that we could have, canceled the flight the day of basically. And the morning of our flight, we canceled it, and because we got news that the strike was over. So it worked out, but man, it was stressful and a half. But
I would have hopped in the car the second they started on strike, 10 days ahead of time. Let's roll.
Driving over, yeah. Honestly, we debated on actually driving over to Buffalo and flying out of Buffalo. Just logistically, it was a nightmare. But to your point, man, the experience was phenomenal. Like the food there, the exhibition, how they had it set up, the details, every bit of it was such a good experience. And the people, honestly, just putting faces to names and by even names, Instagram handles was just such a good feel-good moment. I remember seeing Jay, a card collector, set collector, and I'm like, dude, give me a hug. And like, he's a big guy. And like, I'm not a big guy. And so like, literally, he was joking about it. And he's like, yo, you could be like my child. And I'm like, so it was like, I got a photo with him. And again, like I look back in it and it's just true memories, right? Yeah. And it was such a good experience. And again, we went for our engagement shoot. So like just the whole trip was so memorable. And it's just, I look at this piece and I can remember everything. So
I'm glad you remember to get your engagement shoot in there. We got our engagement shoot like at the dinner.
Hey, just the photos over here, right in front of the wall arts.
In front of the ice PiggyBanx display, right?
Yeah, we got a few of those.
So how many pieces do you have? I tease that you have 2 off camera. Can you break it to the audience gently how many pieces you have?
Funny enough, I thought I was sitting around 40 to 45. I did a count when I set these up. And then I did a count to see how many other boxes I hadn't touched. So I would say north of 50 easily. Nowhere near 100. Thank God, nowhere near 100. I say thank God because my fiance is watching this. But
is she sitting next to you, staring at you while you're doing this?
No, not staring at me. She's around me. I think she's occupied, but she's definitely hearing what's going on. So
I could just picture her like in a fold-out chair next to you, just staring at the side of your face.
She's
watching
making
this
some
interview.
notes along the way. Like, you said this about our engagement shoot. You said this. I didn't know that.
I thought we went there solely for the engagement shoot.
Yeah, right? No.
Maybe she'd have some cue cards, give you tips of what to say next.
No, I wish. No, I'm kidding.
The hot seat,
she went through the Q&A with me, and kind of like, hey, we kind of watched what you had done for other people, so I had an idea, and so kind of ran through.
I throw violent curveballs.
Oh, I know you do. You've already hit some with me, and that's okay.
Like this is all just a big curveball. So you chase pieces you love, and you're trying to pull back because you're about to have a wife. By the way, you guys have a date set?
2027. So we have a month. We know the year. We know the month. We're on the brink of locking in that date, but until pay like the deposit is paid, don't want to jinx it. Don't want to speak too soon.
Nev, I've never heard of such a thing. Is this a Canadian thing? You need to give me some tips offline, because like when I got engaged, I think it was the next day. My fiance is like, hey, what's the date? And I'm like, the date for what? Like, today is Friday. And I told her whatever today's date was. And she's like, no. Like, how did you successfully, let's see if she comes out with a cue card right now. How did you successfully say 2027?
Truthfully, it's a situational thing where you could not find a venue that you'd like that will take you in 2026.
Queen's Park.
A venue. Like,
I'm just kidding.
They're all booked, man. Like, every venue that I know, but like, I'm being very straight up and honest. Like, as much as it sucks, you might get a Wednesday at the venue that you like next year. So if there's like a specific day or like a weekend that you want, you're looking out at 2027. And funny enough, they've already told us that they're starting 2028. So again,
Wednesday is a beautiful day for weddings.
I'm not against it, but I'm Indian, so we're gonna do a traditional mix of Western and Indian weddings. So it's gonna be, I don't know if you know anything about Indian weddings, but they're not one day long. They're a few days long. You got different events on every night.
I hear Wednesdays are cheaper than Saturdays, though. Heads up.
Definitely.
Keep that in mind for your multi-day excursion there.
Yeah.
So do you chase pieces for their story, meaning, art, theme? Because now you got to think about all these things, man. And who knows if diapers are on the way in 2028?
I gotta be careful with what I collect.
How do you narrow it down? What's your lane?
Okay, so like, I love that question, but I hate it. Right? Because for me, if you said, Nav, you have to give me an answer on a lane, I would answer it with nostalgic sports. Because that way I can kind of touch on, like, there's pieces on here that are not sports at all, but they're so nostalgic to me, and moments in my life that mean a lot to me. And then sports, because again, just as a sports guy, I truly like a lot of sports. So, but for example, just because I say I like sports doesn't mean I think the King of the City, number 3, Jerry Rice, is for me.
Is it because of the shoulder pads?
You know what? I did see them, and I'm like, that's a good touch. But to me, it's because Jerry Rice, as much as a phenomenal Hall of Famer he is, it doesn't speak to me because I didn't grow up actually watching him. I wasn't blessed to watch him. And I know the stats he has behind him. I know how historic his performances are. But for me, I can't relate, right? And I know there's many other people who would find it much more intriguing for them. Older heads. So when I say nostalgic, though, growing up, Marvel, DC, heroes and villains, that to me is nostalgic. Even though it's still very relevant today. To me, that's what, it gives me so many memories of growing up and, going through the comics. Simpsons to me is nostalgic. And I have a Bart Thrasher piece somewhere over here. I wouldn't say I am, my lane is not Simpsons, right?
I hope not.
But it is... There's not many pieces. There's Bart Mardusa and,
certainly a way to save money if that is your lane.
But again, so I think to answer that question, I probably need to be better with it. And I'm trying to work on it. But man, it's nostalgic in sports.
I'm going to tell you if you're lying to me because I'm going to ask you if you can take us over those pieces now. And I want to know, is there a piece behind you? Because I assume it would be, if depending on the answer to the question. Is there a piece you have gone extreme lengths to secure? Something that you ditched all rational thought and you didn't tell the fiance. I assume you did. You should. All right. If she's listening, I would never advocate that he not tell you. But anything you've gone to extreme lengths to secure?
You know what? Funny enough, I think it would be technically speaking, the what if piece, the what if alpha.
Okay.
Extreme lengths to get that was traveling, halfway around North America to go to a dinner to get a piece that was, on the same weekend as an engagement shoot. So, but if it wasn't that one, I'm gonna have to put a pause here. I
still love that you like.
You're gonna have.
You keep saying engagement shoot every time you say dinner. You notice that? Like you can't say going to the dinner without saying the engagement shoot.
Nope.
You've trained your own mouth. You're like, we went there for the engagement shoot and the dinner.
You know what? You're gonna have to circle back to me on this one because I will. You know what? Some of these pieces, and I think in true Piggy fashion, pieces will find their way to you. I know there's a piece that you've been hunting and chasing for a very long time. I don't know if you know that we've spoken about it on Messenger many times, and maybe that that you can recall, and you probably know exactly what piece I'm talking about. Do you see it?
What's weird about this software I use is it's blurry. I can only make out jump mandos and crowns.
Fair enough. Right? But so listen, and I know, listen, as much as these pieces are important to me and Kobe is too, right? Like there's gonna be a moment where it comes full circle and one of those ends up in your lap. It's just the way the Piggy world works.
Is that why you agreed to do the interview? Is today that day? I'm just kidding.
Putting me on the spot, but hey, listen, I know it's something that you've been chasing for so long, right?
It's true.
To me, it is a Kobe PC. But of course, like we can always have a conversation and we can take that offline.
Do you want to know the craziest story about that piece? Well, a different variation of that piece. I've been hunting that piece for a minute or two.
Yep.
And when I say a minute or two, it's from the minute I started joining the community is the minute that was on my list of grails.
Sorry, before you get there, I'm assuming that's like February or March of this year. It feels like it was very early on.
It could have been. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it was right before King of City 1, which was June. So I'm gonna say it like a month or two before that.
You know what? I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna find this right now. I'm gonna find this right now while I have you.
You're gonna know. I'll tell the story while you look.
Yeah.
So
everyone knows how long you've been looking for this piece.
I've been looking for it. And I had a deal almost done. I was talking to another individual about this piece. He knew I had been looking for a minute, and he made it available. Super nice guy. He basically threw out a potential trade and some cash considerations. But I didn't get the message until, I'm going to say, a day or two later. And I wrote back, I'm game. And he was like, I got rid of it. Do you understand what that does to me? Because you know better than most.
I do know. Sometimes it's a game of minutes sometimes.
Minutes, man. And I'm still sweating over that one. It gives me nightmares. Do you have the date?
May. So okay. I was
right. It
was before June, right? So it's
King of the City was June. I knew it was a little bit before that. So yeah. May.
So that's pretty early, man. Like for you to be still, and again, full circle. It will find its way to you.
It'll come.
It'll 100%. It's just the way the Piggy world works.
I mean, it could come tomorrow if I wanted to give up my house for it.
No,
it needs to come for the right price. Yeah.
There you go. Right. But like I said, the Piggyverse will, it works in a wonderful way.
It sure does. Find its way. It sure does. So what are your favorite pieces? And it's funny because I can see the jump mandos. I couldn't make out what was to the right of it. I find it hilarious that that's what it was.
All right. So I have a few and I'm going to pick them out. But the first one is probably a top-notch one for me. It's number one. And if the studio is watching, I want this piece. This is one of my wants in a wall art. This is a money band Spider-Man called Betrayal. Okay. I know there's a glimmer on it. I'm going to take it out of this so you can maybe get a better look at it. The lights.
I've never seen that piece, by the way, in person. I consider this in person. Yeah.
So if you look into the eyes of Spider-Man there, that is part of the artwork that was used three-ish years later in Separation Anxiety. So now you look at Separation Anxiety And do you see in that top corner that same Spider-Man look?
Yeah, yep.
Right?
Like the eyes look, yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
So that is Spider-Man in the corner from his piece of a money band piece from 2022. And so,
by the way, that in 1,000% size would be epic.
I saw the separation anxiety at the dinner, and in my head, I'm like, I would need it to be a betrayal. Like, it's just, if I ever had the opportunity to say, hey, I have 2 wants, like, on my list. I submitted that list. There's 2 true wants, but we'll get to the second one later. Betrayal money band, if they could ever do it. Oh, man. So now another thing is I have the 400% of it.
Yeah.
So that's atomic.
Okay.
This piece is atomic.
Great variation. Great variation.
Yeah, great variation. But when it was released originally, it was called Broken Hearted.
Sick.
So again,
That's
it just
sick.
shows how things have evolved and like the uniqueness of like the name. It makes Broken Heart, dude. He's you got your
So good.
being like choked. It's just one of those things. It's so unique.
So good.
I love it. So that's one of. And
Atomic on that piece, by the way, also is just sick.
It's dope, man. I love it. And so, especially in like the right lighting,
yeah, man.
Atomic just hits. It's so beautiful. Another favorite piece would be, man, like they're all favorites, but like
I mean, I'm looking at the bottom row of crowns. It's insane. I mean, I've seen the crowns. Respect.
But like, I think to say the crown set is just like my favorite, it would be so like.
I know.
Like I
ordinary.
love the crowns. I
It's
love them. I think they pay homage to the players and the GOAT aspect of who they are. Especially when you look at the details of the crowns and when you zoom in and you can actually admire moments and achievements that they've had. If you were to be like, yeah, what's another favorite? So this one is the LA Legend.
Amazing.
That's Kobe.
Amazing.
And it's in black and white. So black and white in the top corner as the variant on canvas. So just really unique.
Sick.
I think on a portrait, canvas just looks so sharp. And when you get a black and white film take on it, like a nice, contrast, it just looks so sharp.
Black and white on canvas, I'm with you. Like that's the right fit.
I hope they bring it. Like they've kind of brought back black and white looks on, the Glimpse of Gotham, the Joint Forces, like all those. They have like the colored version and the non-colored version.
Yep.
But like a true black and white it hits. It's different. One more favorite. Like again, there's so many. Like I told you about like my love for sneakers. So I got the Air Jordan.
I was gonna say, know what's coming here. Yep.
Yeah, and then there's this one. It's again a tale of two worlds. You have Air Jordan 1 origin story. That shoe particularly was released for Spider-Man, like one of the Spider-Man movies. So they actually released literally the Chicago silhouette, but with like a blue bottom and speckles all over the shoe. And I think it looks to me, it is that shoe. So
that looks like your style shoe, man. I can't see your shoes right now, but I could picture you wearing those kicks
all day long. Funny enough, Air Jordan 1s are my go-to, but like over the last year, man, I've gotten some like New Balances, and I'm like, I can't go wrong with these. They're just so comfortable.
Really, man.
It's terrible, but it's good, man. You got it. Sometimes you just need comfort.
Comfort,
man.
That's how you know you're engaged. You're about to get married. You're about to go into that dad life.
When we were in California, all I was trying to wear was the New Balances because it was just walking on walking. I got some other favorites. Love Struck was one of my favorites, if you're aware of that piece. Funny enough, I had a package stolen to me on the day or two before they released that one, and the art style was very similar to Love Struck. So like, I was like, listen, if I can't have the piece that was stolen en route to me, I want this one. Like it kind of, and of course, it just has characters on it. Like, funny enough, we're talking about Simpsons. Krusty the Krab's on that. So it's just kind of like, there's another one. Again, I've displayed a lot of my favorites, but like those 3 or 4 that I've showed are probably like peak top. Scrooge is at the top. It's funny. That's like the Tycoon. I love how like on his license plate, he goes, I don't know if we have to keep this PG-13, but he's like, the license plate says, I'm rich, bitch. The set collector. He just got the wall art in that. And the 100% matching. Phenomenal.
So 1,000, you want the Spider-Man or what? What was your second choice?
The Los Angeles, the LA Legends, the Kobe. Yeah. So the one in black and white. Funny enough, the studio had it on display at the dinner, the 1,000. They actually had, so technically they had separation anxiety set up in the 1,000, and then they had the LA Legend set up in the 1,000. But man.
Why didn't you walk home with it?
Should have just left with it, right? No, I'm kidding. I don't know, hopefully I can. I don't know. I don't know the story behind it. I don't know if it belongs to someone and it was just on display there. I know at detention there are lockers people have, right? And sometimes they display their favorite alcohol, or they have some piggy pieces that are displayed in there.
You didn't ask the question?
I didn't feel like it was the right time to.
That's
Right?
fair.
So
I would have.
you know what? And hindsight, shoot. I should have. So
Gotta take the shot. What's the work done? Somebody else's. Cool, man.
You're right. Next time, right?
Yeah, it's not disrespectful. You're paying homage to a beautiful piece.
I think the other part of it was in my head. I'm like, if he says yes, how
Am I
much?
ready? Am I ready to pull the trigger?
How much is this going to cost me? So I think that was the other part of it, because finances, of course, always come into play.
That's fair. I don't think they're very cheap. Are you chasing any grails currently?
Of course, I would like to achieve the crown set, right? So with that being said, Stan, Kobe, LeBron are on the hunt. I did get blessed with a Ronaldo, so that was one. Yeah. Was really, really excited to see that email come through. And then, of course, I think for me, the next big grail is wall art. I think that's what changes and elevates someone's collection, which is when you have like a bit of everything. And so for me, it's like a wall art I've gotten the A-OK from the fiance to have it up on the wall.
Yes.
So and not hidden in a room. Like, I've got the A-OK.
It's the major obstacle.
So that being said, and of course, watching the pocket, watching the wallet, watching my own personal piggy bank, a wall art would be the next grail.
Do you have a guess what my 1,000 waitlist request was? And I'll give you a hint. Somebody already owns it, and I didn't know that until
stained glass, the Kobe. I didn't even know it existed. I did not know it existed.
I didn't either.
Part of it, that's the fun of like Piggy. Some of these collectors have pieces, or there's private collectors that haven't posted anything, and it's like every day you see something. Again, they showing up with that 1,100% of the tycoon. I was like, whoa, man! Like, holy!
Like, yeah, where do you get these? Where'd it come from? And the Kobe crown's already out in the world.
The Kobe crown one was also like crazy. Like, to have like a true piece, to have everything set around, like that is the holy shrine. And I think wall arts, you are so fun to build around. I don't know if you've watched Alan Neo NFTs.
Yeah.
He does videos of him changing around his pieces on the wall, but his wall arts are up, and it's so cool.
It's unbelievable
to see how people can display them with their 100s and even their 400s. So
yep. I'm inspired by it all.
So let me ask you a quick one. Let me put you in the hot seat.
Yeah, let's do it.
Stained glass is the Kobe GG. It's with another collector in a forever home. What's your next wall art?
It was going to be Kobe Crown. Those were the two I put in for, and then I saw that they're both gone. If I had to go another one, it would be a future collector at Heart piece.
Totally fair, and I think that's with how much detail is coming into the collector at Heart pieces, I would fully get why. When we saw the wall arts at the studio, man, it is just insane how much detail there is. Like, it is like 400% already like was mind-boggling to me. The Venom was my first one, and I was like, holy. Then seeing the 1000%, again, my fiance saw the wall art for the first time at the dinner. And when she saw them, she's like, oh, this is what you're referring to? She's like, yeah, these would be cool in the house.
I mean, and I don't know what variations they do on the wall arts, or if it's custom requests. That would be a big deal for me. But, I mean, you saw the baby diamond I posted for the Collector Heart 02. If that's in 1000% size, that's stunning.
Yeah. Well, man, we're talking about the detail, right? Like, so the variant is the one aspect. The other aspect is the new level of what this printer is doing with those. I don't know what the right word would be, but it's like the distorted.
Yeah.
Like, because when you put like fractal or hypnotic, it can distort the image.
So,
there are some pieces that they slap. Like, they are just so dope. But now when they've added this new level and new, like, the layering on it, man, that's one. So if they can print some of these variants, I've only seen refractor and gold. But the other part of it is that Kobe crown that's out there, the wall art. I think Court Relics has it, I think. Or is it Mamba? I think Court Relics. Anyway, so
Mamba has a stained glass.
Yeah, Mamba has a stained glass, so I think Court Relics has the crown. If the 100% you can see details in the crown, and the 400% that the Piggy crown has, the details, I can only imagine what a 1000% has. And you know what? Like, I would, again, what I saw was only 3 or 4 pieces of wall art. I saw the Shelby, I saw King of the City, I saw Separation Anxiety, and I saw the LA Legends. Right? Those all blew me away. But like, if you take it up a notch and you put up a piece that has way more detail, like,
insane.
There's levels to this. Like, you know, there's levels to this, and it's like, this is where the studio's at. Like, they're just so far ahead.
I know. You know what though? I would, if I could get Steph Curry to sign Dream Team 2.0 in 1,000, I would go that way too.
That'd be a big, you know, that would be a big piece to have. But I think the piece itself, you know, you wouldn't even need the signature. If you got it 1,000%, like, it'd be dope. But like, I think if you had Dream Team, even without the auto, would you not take it?
Yeah, probably.
Right? Like I can only just think about the detail that shows up on it. But again,
tough, man. I don't know. Because I'm a sports guy, so that auto just hits different. But I feel like I would, no. I don't, it's not that I wouldn't take it. I'd have something else higher on my list.
Exactly. That's, and it's like, we're talking on the premise of you get one wall art, right?
I get one wall art. Yeah, it would not be my one.
And you want it to be the one that you want. So
yeah, I like my 100 Dream Team 2.0 with a beautiful Curry auto. Now, what's the best part about collecting for you?
Okay, so of course, the community and people. I think that without a doubt, you get to meet and chat with. Well, again, I'm talking to people that live not down the street from me, but like within a half an hour drive. And it's like, oh, I have, you know, someone that collects with me. And so when, you know, you go to, you know, the Sport Card Expo, you know that someone else might be there who's a Piggy collector. And you can have some great conversations. And that's happened both the last expos I've been to. And then, of course, making friendships with people around the world. And when I talk about people around the world, man, I've got a new friend all the way in Thailand. Like, you know, like, that is just insane. And I'm sure people like Check Collect, his collection is just insane. Like, kudos to him. Every single day, it's like Check just doing Check things. Like, he's just posting another banger. And then, of course, you know, just the experiences that come with it. Like, getting a Piggy in the mail and unboxing it just brings so much excitement. It hits that nostalgic feeling of, you know, Christmas morning, open up a gift. Or getting a Pokemon pack that to you was $6.99 and your mom or dad had to spend and say, no, we shouldn't get it. And you convince them to get it for you. And there you are opening it in the middle of, you know, your local card shop. Like, that is the feeling that it's just like a feeling that you don't get the same. I don't get that when, you know, I know what pair of sneakers I bought online and I'm expecting them in the mail. That's not the same when, you know, if I was to win an eBay auction on a sport card, like, it's just not the same.
Now, I need you to explain something to my wife. Now, she'll never watch this because she'll never watch any episode I ever make. That's just the relationship I have. While you and your wife are probably going to cuddle tonight and talk about your future wedding in 2027 and watch this episode when it airs.
Most likely, we will be talking about the wedding, and I'll tell her that she has to watch this as the offset. But yes.
The question is, my wife says, Kurt, I don't understand how you can spend $750 on a piece of art and not know what variation you're getting. What would be your response to my wife? Because I've given her a response, and I think it's a great one, but I want to hear your take on it.
I think it's part of the fun, right? It's part of the experience. It's part of that built in. Like, you know that you're getting a one-of-one. Like, you entered because you like the art. The variant is part of that fun of, like, the unboxing. If you got to pick your variant and the art up front, that experience isn't the same. Like, that the unboxing is, I got my Piggy, but it's like for example, when I get the notification that a PiggyBanx has been delivered at my front door, I'm leaving work. I'm coming straight home and I'm unboxing that bad boy. Because part of it is the excitement of what's it going to be? What variant is this? And I trust the studio. I think every variant looks good in its own ways. I think they all exist in their own reason. I think some look much better than others, and I think some are more favorable than others. But again, that's just part of the fun. So that would be my answer. But you know what? Maybe it's a very cliche, but I think it's a very fair take that it's the experience. If you can pick your variant with the piece, that experience is tainted. You still get to unbox it, but you already know what you're expecting.
You know what portion of this video I'm not going to show my wife? The portion where you said it's more fun. Not that I'm here to give marriage advice, but when the wife says, I don't understand why you spent X number of money, the answer can never be because it's more fun. Just can't be. It's the only bit of marriage advice I'm going to give you. All right, that's it. I'm done.
Hey, that's totally fair. Next.
My answer was, if you look at it from a collectible perspective or passion, or you look at it as an investment. If you take the investment side, you pay $750, the studio will buy it back for $750.
Yep.
Okay. So there's zero downside. So all you're talking about is, am I going to get a piece that is worth $750 or multiple $1,000s based on variation?
Yeah.
So that's the investment side.
Yep.
If you take the passion side, it's like, well, to your point, I'm buying the art. The everything else is sort of like embellishments is the word I would use. It's an embellishment. So it's, do I care if it's on canvas or if it's alpha? Sure. But either way, I am content with the purchase. I'm accepting the fact that of the 40 plus potential variations, I'm good with any of them for $750. I find that to be worth my passion in collectability because I love the piece and it has value to me sentimentally or whatever. And so those two combined still get shot down with the wife, and then we just carry on our marriage as it should be. But that's my take. Does that sound reasonable to you?
No, it sounds very fair and it makes sense. And again, I think the studio does things with intention. And I think that, again, we don't have to talk about it anymore, but that fun and excitement is a huge part of it. So
it's fun and exciting. No, I'm with you because it's like, am I going to hit the jackpot today? And again, I don't sell. So when I say the jackpot, it's just a mental jackpot. And frankly speaking, I just prefer the way PMGs and baby diamonds look over the other ones. So I hit the jackpot for my collection because you can see it right here.
Yep.
This is matte.
Yeah.
And this is snake skin.
Yep. I can see the gulf. But now to your point, like the jackpot is like when the whole conversation of like, you're spending a lot of money. And again, like being in Canada, like $750 is a lot more for us. Like you're looking north of $1,000. So for me, it's like, okay, when I enter a piece, it's because I really want it. Like I've done that thinking of, so the jackpot to me is getting that email notification that my entry was successful. To take it up a notch, to your point, it is like a mental thing, which is like, hey, you could now be pulling a variant which might be 5x your value, might be 3x your value. Who knows? Or it might be something that you are happy with. I know there are collectors out there that love distorted variants. And to them, again, the jackpot is getting a distorted variant and getting that email. So I think it's very to each their own. And I think that's the excitement part is you don't know until you open it. And I think that's just so fun. And it's like, it's a feeling that I don't get because typically you know what you're getting unless it's like Christmas gifts. It's
an amazing experience. It is, to your point, it's unrivaled right now. It is absolutely unrivaled, that PiggyBanx box opening experience, period. I will say though, like it's different also when you hit like a crown. That conversation with my wife would look differently when she's like, why? It's like, well, the worst variation, which is subjective, who knows what that is? The worst variation, which, did you watch the last episode I just popped like yesterday, which is the regular becoming special or regular? Sure. Regular is going to be what? 7-8K at a minimum? Like, what are we talking about here?
A win's a win, right? No, but I hear you. It is very subjective. And I think people get very caught up on, I don't want this piece because it's not the art. Or like, for example, let's take it back. If someone's entering for a piece, it's because of the art. If it comes in the mail and you are not happy with the variant, trade it. Like variant swap. Give someone $100, $500, whatever it takes to get that variant.
Easy day. Easy.
Everyone had a chance to get an allocation of a randomized variant. And so you entered it for the art. You got your art. Now, it might not be tomorrow, but over the course of a month, 2 months, 3 months, you could probably find someone who'll do a variant swap with you.
For sure.
Or you'll find someone who will sell you the variant that you want, and you might have to sell yours, but it's basically like, it's like a three-way, you're just allocating the same funds to get what you wanted. Again, it doesn't, I think, you know.
It's like an NBA style trade. It's an 8-player trade.
There you go. Throw some draft picks in there, and, you know, my next entry's for you, sort of thing. So
I'm never making that deal. PiggyBanx dropping out bangers. Like, you're getting no future draft picks from me.
I hear you.
So, Discord.
Yeah.
Talk to me, man. You mess around Discord at all?
Yeah, I'm on it, bro.
I know.
Dude, I think I'm sure people understand why the Discord, or the Bacon Lovers Discord exists. It's the IG chats, they were getting full, and we know that there is way more collectors out there than can fit in a group chat. And I think there was a spot where you could have unofficial take on everything, of course, following certain rules of the studio and we'll call it rules. So we're very mindful of the approaches we take. I think the Discord auction, if someone tries to give us a night piece to auction off, no shot, right? It's happened a couple of times, no shot, right? We're not letting that one come through. If someone's trying to auction off a brand new release, no shot. The goal, we have a lot of fun with the auction, for example, is, man, so many new collectors end up getting their first piece. And it allows older collectors too, and this is like an unwritten aspect of it, it allows older collectors to meet newer collectors and letting newer collectors build that relationship. There are people in the Discord chat when the auctions are going live. I don't know how often you can partake in them or see them, but man, we love the banter in there. The banter goes off. Memes are dropped, funny comments are made, and ongoing jokes. Like there's ongoing jokes about me and Poutine. And it's just the funniest thing. I love it. I'm from the North. I get it. Yeah. And so someone dropped a meme that was just so Canadian hitting. I was in tears. And it's just, there are these members that are doing this, I have never spoken to before, but now I have. And it's like an icebreaker. The auction is an hour long. People have free reign for banter within reason, right? Within reason. And it allows people to get to know one another, have fun, joke around, have a drink, don't have a drink, whatever it is, just shoot this, have some fun. That's all it is. And of course, have the opportunity to get a piece that you want to bring home to a new forever home. In regards to, we try to find ways to make it work. We had someone, for example, who had asked us and said, hey, I won this, what are the rules? I feel like I have an offer for a trade, and this is what the person wants. And I think the unwritten rule that we kind of had was you got to wait at least 30 days. And I think, again, the intention is to find pieces for the right home. That doesn't always mean you're stuck with this to your grave. But again, so I think with the Discord and auction, we're always trying to find ways to make it grow and implement ways for it to be for forever homes. Prime example, there was a piece that was an auction last week. I was bidding on it. I actually ended up winning it, but because I'm also, and it wasn't one that I was managing, it was someone else managing it, but because I'm also amidst figuring out who's next in line, getting the photos ready, getting everything lined up, I don't always pay attention to who was bidding next to me. So I ended up winning it. I sent a quick message to the mod shop. I'm like, can someone just mark down who else was bidding on it? Because I feel like there's an opportunity, did I just take away from someone else who may have been a new collector? And that's what ended up happening. So what? I reached out to the new collector. I reached out to the auctioneer, and I said, listen, I will cover the difference on what was the winning bid and what their bid was. If they're open to it, I would rather it go to a new collector's home. In the heat of the moment, I have too many things going on. I can't catch up to speed with what's happening, right? Yeah. I had a second later on. I'm like, hey, I got to figure this out. And the new collector, first piece, he's ecstatic. And of course, the auctioneer got what they were expecting in regards to their full bid amount from me. So they're happy too. To answer, again, go back to your question. I think the Discord and auction is a fun way for, the community to be engaged.
It's amazing. Yeah. I love that the community is doing what it can to get great pieces to great people. I'm under the mentality is once the piece is gone, there's no way to police it. And there's beauty in getting good deals and getting the ability to have trade leverage, which is the other thing about the auction. You can actually get some massive steals in those auctions. Whatever rules you have, but the community is, no one's malicious that I've seen, and that's the key.
And that's the goal. You don't want a piece to end up in someone's hands who's just gonna do something to immediately try to profit off.
That's right.
And I can't, we can't police everyone.
You can't.
And if something,
and I don't even know, honestly, I'm curious your take here. I don't know if it's harmful if they do. So how you've watched enough of my episodes to know I curse flippers. But the reality is, and the studio's going to do everything they can to if you see that happening, it's frowned upon and you're on the blacklist and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, if somebody does get a piece, there's 1,000 ways to sell it. They go through auction houses. They go through a middleman. These people popping out pieces anonymously. It's not actually a terrible thing for the market. People do want pieces. People do want new drops. And money moving on the secondary market, this is just my hot take, is not a bad thing. Actually, part of the problem, here's my direct question for you. I'm dying to know your answer because you know your shit. Here's the question. Is the studio helping or hurting itself? Is the studio helping or hurting itself in terms of value of their pieces by putting desirable pieces in the hands of great people where they will not move? Here's the pro and con while I buy you time to think about it and your wife to hold up more cue cards. Here's the pro. The pro is you put a great piece. I'm gonna call my snakeskin golf collector Heart 02 a great piece. No one's gonna talk me off. Great piece. It's not moving. If someone says what's the value of it, I don't know because it's not moving. It hasn't sold, won't sell, won't ever go anywhere. What's the value of it? Don't know. You want to try to price it against Canvas or Matte or PMG? I don't know. There's always going to be an argument about what variant's more desirable, blah, blah, blah. And not a lot of collector hearts move. Who knows? So pinpointing the value of a collector heart 2, very hard. Alternatively, if let's say the studio knew I wanted snakeskin. I didn't know I wanted snakeskin. Apparently they did. Let's say that I wanted it and the studio didn't give it to me. And I had to hunt it on the secondary market and pay, I don't know, throw a number.
4Gs, 5Gs.
4Gs, 5Gs. Now, $5,000 trading hand in the secondary market. And now that piece goes from a question mark to about $5K for this particular variant. Is it good or bad that you get variants to people that will not move it? Does it help or hurt the secondary market? You ready for that question?
Okay. I think there's many great things with, collecting PiggyBanx. One of those is we can find ways to get pieces we want out of hands of people who it was a good home for them. Okay? And why I say that or how I say that is collector heart for you in golf and baby diamonds is something that you say is a forever home. But let's say that I didn't hit and I have a Kobe stained glass, hypothetically. And this is where I think what I was talking about earlier with the engagement from the community members in the Discord. We get to know one another, and we do we know each other a bit. Like I know that's a piece that you really want. It's near and dear to me, but that Kobe stained glass means more to you, and that collector at heart means more to me. And kind of like what I think it was Farik that was talking to you about, like, hey, if you're talking about the same ballpark, just get it done.
Yep.
And again, that doesn't mean that the studio found a wrong home for it, in my opinion. I think your home is a great home for it, and I think they did a good job of getting it into your hands. But that might be your ticket into that one piece that has been evading you for, let's say, the last 6 months.
But that's my baby diamond.
That's your baby diamond, right? But and again, I think
no, very valid point. Very valid point.
I think part of it is, again, there's no right answer here. There's no wrong answer either.
There's no wrong answer.
Right? I think the studio wants to do what they can do to get the pieces into help curating their collectors and like figuring out what piece belongs where to a certain degree. And then the other part of that is naturally pieces will still find their way to more cherished homes. Or
do you think artists should care about secondary market?
Yes. Like, what do you mean by secondary market? You mean like on people flipping?
Do you think they should care about values of pieces on the secondary market? I'm not talking PiggyBanx. Notice I said artists.
Yeah.
Artists in general, do you think they should be concerned with values of secondary market? It's more of a business question.
Okay. Because I'm trying to take a spin on it because I think artists have a very unique position. If an artist's art is selling out, it's because it's in demand. It's because 100%. It's wanted. So I think without it being a direct, yes, we care, it's a, hey, if your art is selling, you, in essence, do care about value. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
It's a tough question, right?
It's a very tough question. And so here's what I think sometimes. So if you're Apple, let's not pick on artists. If you're Apple, the company, and you sell an iPhone and all of your iPhones sell for $4,000 on the secondary market, and you can buy an iPhone for whatever, $1,200. As Apple, are people buying your product because they like it or because it's worth $4,000? Do you know? Do you care?
I think there's so many ways to take that answer. And you know what? I have another point to this answer. PiggyBanx in the studio, they do what, we see every few weeks or a couple months is their charity auction. Those charity auctions bring in so much back into the community in good and great ways because of the value associated with their brand. And I think with what the studio stands for, yes, I think value does matter. And that's not because it's like hey, we're greedy. It's not. It's because they know that it's a safe space for people to put their money into, but also it's a way for them to still find ways to give back. And again, I take it up a notch. There are people who have donated $1, $5 to the wishing well, and the studio is still giving them, a piece. So in one way, they don't care about trading $5 for a piece. But on the flip side, they know that that piece is going to a good home. And also on the flip side of it is they still believe in the value of their brand and their pieces. And I think it matters because, hey, that's why these auctions can go for $50,000 and they can give, a one-time payment to a charity. And dude, like $50,000 is a lot of money to donate.
It's a lot of money. Ask me, put me on the hot seat. Ask me the same question.
All right, same question.
Same question. Here's why I'm going to talk just about PiggyBanx, not the other artists.
Yeah, fair.
About PiggyBanx, I think secondary market is important. And normally I would say it's not. If I was just giving a business lecture, I would say, do not focus on secondary market. It's nonsensical. Here are the reasons not to do it. I could bore everyone with business theory until their ears bleed. In this case, though, I'd say you should. And I think he does. I think the studio does because, and I deeply believe this, and I can say this after a 3.5-hour conversation with him. I think they're interested in protecting the collector's investments. And with that mentality, so you're producing arguably the highest quality art. I'm not sure anyone's disputing that. So you have the finest art in the space, and you are probably the most fixated on protecting and harboring the investment of it and maturing the investment. And that's done through multiple ways. I do think in this case, by having your finger on the pulse of whether pieces are moving or not, is this sitting here as an investment for me or because I love it? Now, I could try to disguise my intent, but I think people are pretty genuine. When I ask you the question, is it a passion or investment? You're like, it's both, man. Let's be real. To your point, do I want this to go to zero? No. Do I have any plans of selling it? No. But I like knowing it's not worthless. Do I like to display things in my house that are worth nothing? Generally speaking, no. I don't have a banana taped to the wall like some art studios. I don't do it. I like beautiful art that also has value. And I think PiggyBanx is focused on both of those. And I think it's brilliant.
And it's interesting. Like, I have a couple of friends who are intrigued with this world. And they ask me a lot of questions. And I think what really gave them a different framework to think about it was when they asked me, it's like, oh, like, how much are you spending on these? Right? And it took that conversation to like, oh, shoot, this is a serious conversation. And I think that is an interesting part to what you're saying, because you're right. I could go to, a Marshall's TJX and buy something to hang up on the wall, but it's not the same as, displaying a PiggyBanx. It'll never be the same.
That's right. The conversation piece, I just want to invite people over to the house just to see the PiggyBanx. Like, there's no reason for them to come over. You want to come over? Like, what, to watch football? I'm like, sure. I just want to show you my pieces, man.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Yep.
They're beautiful.
Yep.
But I'm intrigued by the secondary market in the PiggyBanx world just for that reason, because I see pieces not moving and I see pieces moving. And like I said, collector at heart, I don't see those for sale. What does that tell me? It tells me people love the art.
Exactly. And that doesn't.
They love the art.
1,000%. They're and it got into homes that truly wanted to keep them. I have the Rolex Collector at Heart 1.
And what variant?
Angel Dust Gold, right? So it's like, I love Angel Dust, and I love the gold, and it's like, for me, it's just like, that's not going anywhere. You're not gonna. And I've had people ask me like, "Hey, would you trade it?" And I'm like, I wouldn't. Like, that's a piece. But now on the flip side, they're playing a dangerous game with me, because it's like, hey, Collector at Heart 2, I couldn't. I told myself I can't enter for it because I knew I was going to go for the crown. But now I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Because I know it's going to take a lot for me to get a Collector at Heart 2 and chase down that set as it grows. But that's okay because I'm slowly coming to the reality that, hey, not all my sets are going to be completely full. And you know what? That's okay. As long as I can pick and choose the ones that matter the most to me, I'm okay with it.
You have to get a Collector at Heart 02.
Sooner than later.
You have to do it, man. You heard my take the other day, and I meant it genuinely. I would not trade my Collector at Heart 02 for a Ronaldo crown. And I'm a sports guy. Sports is my lane. I would not trade it.
Dude, I think this is why it matters that the right homes get the right pieces.
See how we came full circle right there?
Full circle, baby.
Where we ended up, and Piggy's cursing me right now. He's like, did you just go in a circle for 45 minutes to say we're doing it correctly? Yep.
Yeah.
Sure did. I went 45 minutes around to say you putting pieces in homes where they won't move is the right move. How about that?
Dude, again, you're curating the right collectors. I think they're killing it. And you know what? You've said it a million times. They're 50 steps ahead. Everything that they've done or do has intention to it from what I see. And there's always details. Like, man, at that dinner, everything was just so like there was levels to it. The details on Kobe's locker that they had, it's just every bit where you looked, everything that they were talking about, even chatting with Brad for 5 minutes about the future of something. Like, it's just, it was just phenomenal.
What do you see, man? Because you've moved from sports cards to shoes and now PiggyBanx. You see yourself staying in this space?
So when I say moving around, like, I still have a PC for sports cards. It's nowhere near the spot it was in prior to PiggyBanx. Yeah. And I still have some of my Grail sneakers, but nowhere near the collection as it once was because I had to sell it because of the home. I think for me, like, I'm here to stay because it hits a spot which I cannot, fill with anything else, right? Like, I want to get a pair of sneakers, or I could get a PiggyBanx that has a pair of sneakers on it. So it's just that nostalgic feel with so many of these pieces that it's just like, so to answer your question, I bounced around. I am a collector at heart for many different things. Studio, if you're hearing, if a Collector at Heart 3 is about streetwear and culture, sign me up. I'm all in. It would be cool to see, pair of sneakers, Jordans deconstructed all around, but different silhouettes. But I think what the studio is doing, there is no reason for anyone to say, I'm not interested anymore. Like,
for sure.
Every video, everything that's being done, like Banks Broadcasting with these, with the new studio teasers that they dropped, the Knights program bangers coming out, it's just everything that's being done is just so inviting into wanting more.
Yeah.
I think to answer your question, I'm here to stay. I think everyone's here to stay. I don't know why anyone would want to go elsewhere.
I agree. I'm doing a flipping podcast.
There you go.
What am I doing?
Yeah. Like,
2 more softballs for you. We'll get you on your way. These are softballs. Now, I say one softball and only one person's ever answered it. I'm going to start taking it off the list, and you already know what it's going to be.
Okay.
The only person that answered it was Fareed.
Yeah. You can load it up. You can load it up.
Comes right down the middle, man. What advice do you have for OGs?
I wasn't sure if you were going to ask me this. I wasn't. I thought maybe you got your answer once, and you were good with it. But
sometimes you need to hear things twice.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I think everyone has their own perspective, and that's the beauty of these podcasts. My advice for OGs, I think it really stems down to leading by example, and that doesn't mean OGs are absolutely terrible individual. It's not. It isn't. It just means leading by example. So the studio leads by example, and when the studio is preaching kindness, I think that should trickle down to all of us. Early on, it was always F the flippers, and there's always going to be that negativity towards people that are flipping pieces immediately. And I agree with that. However, I think it takes a second to say, hey, buddy, you might be new to the community. It's frowned upon to flip a new piece. And I've had those conversations with a few people. And you know what they do? They say, hey, I didn't realize. I'm going to remove my listing. And I think, I'm not, and like, that's just my take on it, because not everyone knows the ropes. I didn't know the ropes. Luckily, I had people to look up to and ask questions. Not everyone does. And so, I think if we're all just like more kind to one another and we understand we want to grow the community, that doesn't mean that there's going to be a bad apple out there that's going to be flipping a piece on eBay, and that's terrible, right?
Sure.
You can't solve that. But there are a lot of people that understand that, hey, this is a community. We welcome you into it. But if you want to stay, here's some of the ropes that that are part of it. And you know what? That's not even for the OGs. That's for everyone. That is an answer I give to everyone, whether you're a week into this, a month, a year, or 5, right? Like, that's just something that I would say to anyone.
And advice for the new collectors?
Talk, ask questions, be engaged. I think, if you were to go to any forum like Official Discord, Bacon Lovers Discord, and ask a question, someone's going to give you some input or advice that more than likely is accurate, right? And if they're not accurate, someone else will follow up and respond to it and give them answers. Ask around when you're doing, what are the best ways to make sure someone I can do a deal with is legitimate? Hey, I want to learn more about these variants. Hey, there's a couple of, spots where you can go to learn more about variants and lists. How do I learn more about other collectors? Hey, there's some great podcasts about it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge,
Sure.
I think for new collectors joining, you're welcome. Join, ask questions.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, when I joined in May, apparently, thanks for pinning that down for me, I didn't have any resources. Now there are some. There are actually more than one, which is a fantastic thing, right? If you hate Kurt's voice, which I'm sure most people do by now, go to you. If they hate your voice, which they can't, you've got a great podcast voice. I'm not hitting on you. Then go to Banks Broadcasting. If you hate them, then go to Hillary. I mean, there's so many places to go at this point where there are welcoming arms to help guide you, and nobody should take anybody's word as gospel, especially if considering this as an investment or an opportunity. But take each data point
there you go,
and then make the best decision for yourself.
Make an informed decision, right?
That's right.
And I think that's what it comes down to. I think we're all in this community, and the goal is to build that community. And by only building it means you gotta help other people understand some things. And listen, I'm not saying I'm perfect. If Kurt, you say, hey Nav, I think this is a mistake, or I think this is something that you should think about, I'm all ears. I think feedback is a gift. I think it's all about taking it and learning from it. So I'll be the first to admit I'm not perfect, right? So I think spot on, and I think this, having me on CAA, having everyone else before me and after me on CAA, it's all just more content for new collectors and even old like me who love to listen in and just hear the words of other people. What are your thoughts on this? What's your opinion on this? Yeah. Oh, I didn't think about that. That's a cool take.
We're going to start doing some panel discussion, and we're going to have some new collectors, and we're going to have some OGs, and we're going to have some middle road, whatever you call them, the MGs. And we're going to talk about some of these things because a lot of people just don't have the other person's perspective. It's easy as a group of OGs to be like, this is the way. And then it's easy as a group of new collectors to be like, this is the way.
Yeah.
Now let's meet. Let's talk about it. It's easy.
There is no cookie cutter collector. Okay. We will all collect in our own ways. And what collecting means might mean different things to other people. However, that doesn't mean, you're a lesser collector than I am, or I'm a lesser collector than you are. However, again, I go back to, I'm not perfect. So if I've done something, or I've, then hey, give me a tap on the shoulder. Hey, bro, just be mindful of this. Oh yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about that. True, thank you.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, we have talked for an hour and 35 minutes. You've set a record today.
Oh man.
Do you have any final thoughts you want to share with the audience?
Any final thoughts? Oh, here, you know what? I'll ask you this question.
Okay.
Okay.
I like the turnaround here, man. You just like, I'm not in the hot seat. You're in the hot seat, Kurt.
You're in the hot seat.
I respect it.
This is more about your podcast for the first one.
Ooh, okay, I'm ready.
Is anything that you could do differently about Collectible Art Authority, or have done differently from the get-go? What would it be?
So, I don't know if I do it differently. So here's the thing about CAA. CAA was built and created to spread love and awareness. Like if I were to do a mission statement, that would be the mission statement. Spread love and awareness for the art space. Now, by doing so, you elevate the whole sector. Like imagine you're a sports cards guy, right? So imagine if you built a channel that said, I am only going to talk about Upper Deck. I'm only going to talk about Tops. I'm only going to talk about Panini. Or imagine if you're a vendor and you say, I'm only going to trade cards that are Tops. In order for the sports card market to thrive, there needs to be Panini, Tops, Upper Deck, Leaf, whomever. You need to have this. That's just an inherent reality. And if everybody said, well, I'm only going to this one, it wouldn't work out. And the question I asked you about advice to OGs, if someone put me on the hot seat for that, and it's going to come one day, I'm surprised you didn't do it since you've done it on every other question. It would be stop trying to control the secondary market. Because I've acknowledged I think PiggyBanx is doing a great job of it. PiggyBanx has his finger on the pulse, and PiggyBanx is protecting your investment. The studio is saying, I'm going to take that burden off of you. I'm going to do what's in your best interest because I know better than you, and they do. I'm going to pump out amazing art. I'm going to pump out all these things. I'm going to put out social media. I'm going to put out all these things. I'm going to put pieces in Forever Homes. I'm going to set up this buyback program. I'm going to do all of these things to protect your investment. But what collectors have done, I say OGs, some collectors, right? I'm not putting labels on them. New collectors are like, how can I also help defend the secondary market? That's a bridge too far. Those are going to have unintended consequences. Yeah. And so at CAA, there are artists that are working at different paces, the different price points. I certainly have my personal belief about the artistic approaches and touches of various artists. I have my personal preferences for my PC. Yeah. But with a mission statement of spread the awareness and love, I wouldn't have done anything differently. And I know that's a sort of a shitty answer.
Dude, that's all. And it means
like I want the artists to be recognized. I want people to be able to own Toyota Corollas before they own a Porsche. Okay, like not everybody can get out of college and be like, I'm ready to go buy a Ferrari. And let's say PiggyBanx is a Ferrari today. Okay. Yeah. What's your entry point into love of cars? What's your entry point into the love of card market, right? I know Sports Card Taxi is also a Piggy guy, so I'm going to reference him. Is the first sports card he bought Mahomes Flawless Rookie? No. So this guy's flipping base cards. So that you have to think about if people enter the art market via Artist B and then evolve into creative collectors or glue trap collectors or Zato collectors or PiggyBanx collectors, isn't that what it's all about?
Listen, and I think it's a very fair answer. What it tells me is, and I put you on the hot seat with that question, but it wasn't a hot seat because you answered it that you are doing what you set out to do. You're achieving what your original goal was, to grow the art space.
Grow the art space.
Card art space, however we want to word it. So, and that, I think that's something, it's weird to say pat yourself on the back, but like, hey, your answer's spot on. So that's kudos to you. One more. King of the City. Actually, we'll do a dual part. King of the City 4. Who is it going to be and why? And same with Collector at Heart 3. What is it going to be and why?
I'm going to do one go back just because it's important everyone know. Collectible Art Authority is not only spreading love and awareness of artists, it's spread love and awareness of collectors, their journeys, the people, the community. It's to provide an information source. And honestly, maybe if I would go back in time, I'm going to be more critical of myself. I'd set up more clear paths of saying, here's sort of your information series. Here's your collector series. Here's your artist spotlight. I've got a couple of them, but a little more intentional. Okay, so you said first King of the City 4. King of the City 4. I'm a Pittsburgh guy. Like they've got a great skyline. They've got the merging of the three rivers.
Okay.
Old school Three River Stadium. How am I not going to say Pittsburgh?
Okay, who's it going to be?
Here comes a lot of pissed off people. All right, so who do you think when you think Pittsburgh? Now you're a hockey guy, so
I mean, could it be Big Ben? No,
it can't be Big Ben.
So if it's not him, the only other person that comes to my mind is Crosby.
Crosby or Lemieux,
or Lemieux. Fair enough.
But right? But Crosby, I feel like has more appeal and more relevant, and especially invokes so much. I mean, you either love or hate the guy, apparently.
I grew up hating him as a Canadian.
Really?
I grew up hating him.
Until he scored the golden goal?
I think that was the turning point, but it was because of what was said in a previous he was a crybaby.
Crybaby, sure.
And that's fine, because to each their own, and listen, it was part of his success, but as he, I think, grew up and matured in the league, he also changed his ways. He's no longer the same. So, and that's fine. Right. But I've grown to love him now. And I think if you are, doesn't matter where, if you're from Canada or from the U.S., he's helped a U.S. team achieve so much. And then if you're from Canada, he's helped the Canadian team achieve so much. Right?
Absolutely.
So there's no way that you can be upset with him over the course of his career. So I agree with you if you did Crosby. Because
you got to think Gretzky should get a crown.
Yep.
Okay. So if you go Gretzky crown, and if I want to make King of the City, because now you've got football, you've got baseball, you've got basketball, I'm going to go hockey, which is underrepresented, and I have to go Crosby. Because, I mean, you could think that maybe they're going to go OV because DC's got a cool skyline. DC's got a cool skyline, Pittsburgh, but of course, being a Pittsburgh guy, like, I don't want to see an OV piece.
They've done an OV piece recently, right?
Exactly. Crosby needs his love.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Otherwise, he's going to cry about it. Give him his love.
Cry baby.
By the way, I have an autographed photo of one of his fights.
Yeah, That's actually dope.
Right?
Whoever he fought, you should get their autograph too.
It's so great, man. It's like, that's the perfect Crosby piece. Awesome. And the next one was Collector Heart 03. So I've said in an episode before, you've got Rolex, you've got cars, watches, cars, you've got shoes is an obvious play. I wonder if they're going to go obvious with it, though, because I'm with you. You go streetwear, like that's an easy one that probably going to make it into the set, I would think. I don't know if I'd go that way for 3. I feel like the studio wants to... I feel like they're just ready for a curveball.
I think, and the reason why I think there may be a curveball is because they did the exact same with FitCheck. 01, Marvel. 02, still in that world, DC. FitCheck 03, oh, whoa. You got a bit of everyone now. Pop culture, TVs and movies. So it's just like, I think, however, I do think, and I think someone touched upon it, I think if FitCheck 03 was, still a heroes or villains, it would have hit differently. I still love it because to me, it's still part of that nostalgic pop culture. Like now I can relate to so many people on here, but I think you're right. I think, it'd be a cool curveball. I know, for example, my fiance was like, I wonder if they'll do bags.
They could do bags.
I think someone else mentioned that too, actually, recently. And I was like, oh, shoot, great. Like, my fiance
said
that.
You shouted out earlier. You could go Louis Vuitton.
Right? Like, I think you use something like that, and it's like, that's interesting. Now, again, you're appealing to a completely different collector. It's not because you think about high-end cars, you're thinking about high-end watches. Not everyone also thinks about bags.
Here's the counterpoint, right? The counterpoint is that when you think about King of the City, I would encourage them not to get creative there because you've hooked in. It's like the crown set kind. You've kind of hooked in the sports lovers. If you go rogue and say like a movie star or someone like that, like I don't think it's going to land well. Yeah. Collector Heart, my interpretation of what they're doing is here. They're making almost advertisements for these companies. And you saw PiggyBanx is tagging. They tagged Porsche. They tagged Rolex. So can you go Louis Vuitton or something like that, bags, and tag them? I think you should stay the course there. Yeah. And so when I say curveball, I mean it like you mean it, which is like a bag and not go in left field.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what comes. And you know what? I'm sure they already know what 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 are. And
probably already developed and sitting on Brad's desk.
I'm excited to see what it is. Dope, man.
But you got to get it.
If it's sneakers or streetwear, 100%. If it's something that I'm like, oh man, like I'm still set chasing now, I'm going to chase secondary with some trades or something.
You got to think ahead though.
I do.
You got to think ahead because if number 5 is streetwear, then what do you do?
I know. Then I got to double down and pay a lot more in secondary when I get it, right? So, and that's okay, but...
Because I committed to the Collector Heart series when I saw number 1, and I said, I know this set's going to be special. I think it is going to be.
Yeah.
I'm in, and I'm gonna take whatever comes because it's going to be epic.
It'll be dope, man.
I don't own a Porsche.
I hear you.
It's a sick piece. I love Porsche.
I hear you.
Poor Ari Gold sitting out there with 14 Porsches still waiting on his 100, 400 companion set.
Man, I'm excited to see what comes from it. And I think, again, studio's just killing it. And by the
They are,
time,
man.
this video's up, there's going to likely be another new set banger released. And, we'll be
They
like,
will.
oh, man. So,
All love to you, man. And we will talk soon, my friend.
yeah, thank you for having me. And, I can't wait to see this up. Take care, everyone that's
100%.
watching. Yeah, make sure they like, comment, and subscribe, right?
Right? I
So,
mean, I've never actually said that, I don't think.
now you have.
Good looking out, man.
Gotcha.
All right, we'll talk soon, my friend.
All right, take care, man.
Until next time, stay sharp, chase smart.